Now we'll start with the interview part questions exactly. See, this is the most underrated question. Exactly. Okay. But as per my experience, this is the most important question which will direct the interviewer in your path. Okay. This is the most important question. But most of the people will never spend time here. But I want you people to spend more time on this particular question. What is that question? Tell me about yourself or brief me about your experience, whatever is the question. Okay, this is the most important question and people will ignore this, but don't ignore this. That is the reason I just wanted to show you people. I have written the example also. Okay, these are the three questions you need to be very perfect. What are those? Explain, tell me about yourself. Okay, a brief introduction. Explain me about your project, first project and second project. You need to be thoroughly, you need to understand and explain it in the high level. Okay, next,
Hmm.
explain to me about your current roles and responsibilities. Okay, these are the three questions. See, sometimes, right, recruiters itself will ask you, tell me about yourself. Okay, sometimes, not all the time. And tell me your current roles and responsibilities. I promise you, they don't know anything about MuleSoft. If you tell continuously something, they will select and they'll send it to your technical interview. Exactly. But you should tell it confidently because see, they are a recruiter. They know MuleSoft, they know DataWeave, they know RAML, they know any point platform keywords. That's it. They don't know anything inside that exactly. If you ask them what is REST SOAP, they will not understand. It is not their subject. It is what they have to do. They should shortlist the profile and then send it to the technical recruiter. Exactly. Before that, they need to test few things. Okay, whether they're in the proper budget or not. All these things. Sometimes good recruiters, right, they don't want to send the irrelevant candidates to the recruiters, right? They will ask these questions, one two questions. Okay, anyway, after going to interview again, the recruiter will not recruiter, the technical interviewer will ask the question exactly. For that we need to be very well prepared, because what happens, what is the importance, I'll tell you exactly. I told you so many times, this particular question, you will be expressing your total experience. Okay, what are the components you worked, what is the experience, what is the projects. Now you're directing the interviewer, ask me the questions in this particular area only. Is that clear? If you properly answer this question, he will be in this path only. If you don't tell like, I'm Mahesh, I have 5 years of experience and 3 years as relevant experience, I worked in two projects, that's it about me. If you stop it here, exactly, what happens, what is the thing you have given to him? He will thoroughly go through the resume and then he will try to check each and everything and then he'll try to ask the questions. Okay, but my thing is you have to be thorough on what points you have mentioned in the resume, right? You have to be thorough on all the points exactly. But if you answer this question, he will not go through the resume. Got it? If you answer this question very confidently, he'll not go most of the time, unless he feels like he wanted to go and check deliberately for filling up some details. As soon as we do the interview, right, we have to fill up the review about the interview. There'll be a sheet. We should not straight away reject them. We should tell the reasons why, clearly mentioned reasons there. There'll be a sheet with proper details and we need to write, okay, this person good at this, good at this, we tested so many things and he's able to express this. We have to write. Taking interview is half an hour, filling up that sheet will take another 15 minutes to half an hour. Okay, for that details we need to go through, okay, what is the total experience, all these kind of details we need to fill exactly. Okay, now that is the reason this is very critical and important. Try to spend, if you require one day also, try to spend for preparing the answer for this question, these two three questions exactly. I feel like these three are one only. Okay, fine. Now What is that? Tell me about yourself or brief me about your experience. Okay. If I see here, this is a generic one.
Major 766 number eight. 766.
Come again.
766. 0979.
Okay. See here. Now, always exactly. First of all, as soon as the recruiter comes or the interviewer comes to the interview, right? Start with the greeting. Greeting means good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever is the timing. Don't tell good night. Okay. Don't tell good night. Okay. Even if it is 9 also, we should not tell good night, good evening also. Okay. After what we should tell with good evening, please go on mute after 6 or 6:30.
వింటావా కథలు వాడకి ఎంత తిన్నావా 5 4 తిన్నావు ఎండకు
Mahesh, yourself, you can mute everybody. Right? Somebody there.
Yeah, I'm checking. I'm doing that. Okay, I think. Okay, fine. Now, okay, see, use the respective. For example, like someone has come from USA for the interview. For them, it is morning. For us, it is evening. Tell them good morning. Don't tell good evening. Exactly. Okay. And you can start the conversation. How was the day and all exactly, and then you can go ahead. Take 2 minutes of time. You can talk casually, and then they will go ahead. Even if the recruiter comes, also tell them hi. See, this is the way you need to interact and show your confidence exactly in the interviews. Okay, fine. As soon as they come, greet them, talk to them. Okay, take one general thing. For example, like now, what is the topic which is trending? Those kind of topics also you can discuss it for half minute or something like that, if permitted. Exactly. If they, some interviews also they wanted to give the comfort to the other people. Exactly, they will start, how is your weather exactly, and at your place and all, they will start like that, and they will start the conversation, and then immediately they'll start with, please introduce yourself, and then we'll go ahead with the interview. Now, see, introduce yourself. What are the things which needs to be covered there? Okay, the first thing is total experience. The second thing is relevant experience. Okay, and what are the achievements you have done? Achievements means at least the certifications, those kind of things. Exactly. Okay, and what are the different kind of projects you have worked, and what are the domains you have worked? Okay, and then it is always better to go to your first project and tell, coming to the recent projects I have implemented, and you can start telling about your recent project. Now, this will take at least 2 to 5 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. Now you are setting the context to the interviewer. Okay, I have worked on this particular project, and these are the connectors, these are the components, these are the topics I have worked on. You have given him all the hints required on which topics he has to ask the interview questions. Exactly.
Yeah, same cell. Can you call back me on 3 o'clock? Actually, I'm at work. No, no, no. My work has been started. I had to attend a call. My work had.
Okay, now see here. If you observe the example, see here. Hi Rajesh, maybe good morning or good afternoon. I am Ramesh Kumar. Exactly. I have prepared the name on the name of Ramesh Kumar, right? The profile. That's the reason I wrote it as Ramesh Kumar here also. And I have a total of 5 years of experience in IT industry and 3+ years on MuleSoft. Okay. And 3+ years as a MuleSoft developer. That is also fine. I'm a certified MCD level 1 developer. If you are really serious about the career, go for MCD level 2 also. It will cost you amount. I understand that exactly, but it is worthy if you are really trying for it. But at least MCD level 1 is enough. Okay. If you want to keep the other crowd, push the other crowd in the competition, right? MCD level 2 is also, but do it honestly. Don't take the dumps and then finish it off. Exactly. Okay. If you do that, you'll get more knowledge as well as more understanding, and then you can answer. But at this level, MCD level 1 is okay. If you wanted to still stand out from the competition, that is also suggestible. Then what happens in the profile itself, in the header, MCD level 1 and MCD level 2. Okay, right? Now, I worked on 2 end-to-end implementations on MuleSoft. I wrote implementations, not projects. Okay, you can write that to projects also. Exactly. See, sometimes there may be a confusion saying that in MuleSoft, they say one API or one application as project, right? That way also people will get confused. Exactly. That's the reason I used a word called end-to-end implementations. Exactly. Okay, or end-to-end projects. One is ABC Bank, and the other one is XYZ Services. You're telling that? Okay, 2 clients. I'm currently working on the 4.4 version of Mule Runtime and 7.12 version of Anypoint Studio. This is the general thing I'm talking about exactly. I have worked on various connectors such as HTTP, file, FTP, SFTP, DB, VM, JMS. And I can include Salesforce also here, right? The 6-7 connectors which I talked about. And then I have good experience in components such as for each, batch process, scatter gather. Again, what are the components which are regularly used? Currently, in our project, we are following API-led architecture, and I am involved in designing RAML in Design Center, implementing code in Anypoint Studio, and then writing MUnits. I have discussed the deployment strategies also. Coming to the deployment models, we are following CI/CD approach, and I worked on Cloud Hub, on-premises, and hybrid strategies. I am using Postman for API testing, Bitbucket for code repository, and Jenkins for CI/CD deployment. This is a general overview of yours exactly. Okay, what I will suggest generally till here, you discuss the thing and come down to this particular part. Got it? See, if you're not confident about the project, then go for this. Got it? See, if you're not confident about the project, how to explain your project, for example, then general description, general about yourself. You have included everything, right? What are the things you have included? All connectors, components, deployment strategies, tools which you used for CI/CD, maybe policies also you can include there. Is that clear? If you are very confident about the project, then you can go for your project description. I have worked on 2 end-to-end implementation. One is this particular project, second is this project, and then you can start coming to the recent project. Okay, coming to the recent project, I have developed whatever we have discussed, right? The transaction and loyalty management. The purpose of this project is to update the backend Salesforce system whenever there is a transaction initiated by the customer in the front end. Now, a scheduler based integration will be invoked every day in the midnight to fetch all previous day transactions, calculate the points by using third party loyalty points calculation API, and insert points in the database. Based on the points, the customer can claim the coupons available in the system. Once the coupons are claimed successfully, the respective tables are updated in the database. Okay. API-led architecture is followed and implemented by experience APIs, process APIs, and system APIs. For implementing this project, did we use API-led architecture? Yes or no? Right? Now, that is the point I'm mentioning, and you can ask me questions on API-led architecture. Okay. Now, 7 different APIs and 2 integrations are designed and implemented to cater to this requirement. I'm telling the number of integrations and number of APIs also. See, I wrote a random number here, but you can write the exact number. Is that clear? Now it gives more confidence to the interviewer. Exactly. Okay. And then I'm writing two-way SSL and OAuth 2.0 are followed to secure the experience API. It means that you are telling I know two-way SSL also and OAuth policy also. And then HTTPS and client ID enforcement are followed for internal communication between APIs. Is that clear? And 80% unit coverage is followed. You can tell here source system is front end, target system is Salesforce, and database are there. They may ask immediately the question, what are the source systems, what are the target systems? Okay, then immediately you can tell this exactly. Is that clear? At least to certain extent. Now if you are prepared with the answer, can you pass at least 60 to 70% of interviewers expectations? I hope more than 80% will clear it off exactly. The first introduction part, if you're very clear about these things, if you're confident about your project, from here skip this and then go to this. If you're not confident about your project, go to this exactly. What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to tell whatever I have practiced properly and whatever I have done properly. I'm trying to clearly mention that to the interviewer. Now immediately he will remember what are the connectors you have worked. Okay, okay, what is the configuration required for that particular connector? These kind of questions will come. Okay, and you can mention some point about error handling also here. Okay, see that way what happens, components. Okay, you worked on batch process. Okay, can you please explain me the scenario where you have used batch process? And on batch process you will ask some questions. That way the questions will be rooted, because you are mentioning the components, connectors, and all the topics, API-led architecture, everything here, and his mind will be tuned in such a way, ask the questions on those concepts exactly. And those are the concepts exactly he'll be asking. If you are not telling it properly, he can pick up randomly, right? Got it? Okay, this is the now your current roles and responsibilities. See these three questions, if you are prepared, right? Okay, mostly that first 5 to 10 minutes of your interview, your recruitment recruiter part, everything will be done, which is very crucial. If you have done any job, right, or any task, right, if you start it properly, half work is done as per my expectation or as per my knowledge. If you start it properly with proper confidence, right, with proper confidence, what happens, half of the interview will be done, because you have done it exceptionally well in the initial part itself. What happens, your confidence will be very high, and for a unknown question also you'll try to answer it confidently, saying that I don't know that, I'll be good to know about that exactly. Okay, fine, right? Now what are the current roles and responsibilities? See, what are the current roles and responsibilities? Already we discussed this thing, but for the new audience, I will discuss one more time. It will be a refresher for you people also. Okay. First, a Jira story will be assigned. Yes or no? For us, as soon as the work is assigned, what happens? A Jira story will be assigned. After receiving functional and technical documents, documents also will be tagged to that particular story, right? We'll download them and then we'll go through the total documents thoroughly. Yes. And then if there are any questions, we'll make a note of those questions, and then we'll discuss with the architects, business analysts, and team lead, and we'll clarify all the queries, okay, regarding that particular requirement. And then what we'll try to do, we'll try to start with the designing of the API specification. If it is a scratch API, you need to start from the scratch exactly. If it is from middle, if it is an enhancement, what you should do, you know, right? Okay, maybe you need to add a resource to a new already existing API, new resource to a existing API. What you do, go to the design center, already you will create a new resource there, and then you will start with that exactly. But here we are trying to go through the documents and the requirement is clear, and then we are trying to start designing API specification using Grammarly and take feedback from the business users. Once the feedback is clear, we'll try to go ahead. If it is not clear, and if they ask for some changes, we'll make the changes and again take the feedback from them, and then we'll go ahead with the further process exactly. Now once we receive the confirmation from the business users, what we'll try to do, we'll try to take the API specification to our local Anypoint Studio with the help of import from design center or import from Exchange, and then we'll start the implementation. API kit router flow will be generated, and then we'll start the implementation. Now Once it is started, what we'll try to do, we'll try to start that complete the implementation or development, and then we'll test it. After testing, we'll do units also, and then we'll go for architect review or peer code review. I told you one more thing. For example, like there is another developer, he will go for a review of your code. Exactly, whenever he develops, you will review his code. Okay, whenever you develop, he will review your code. This is peer code review. Same peers will do the code review. Okay, then once that code review is done, what happens, you'll go to the architect code review. Okay, by that time you have deployed it to dev environment already. Exactly. Okay, you will test it in the dev environment also. Now you will push it to SIT environment. In SIT environment, what happens, the quality assurance team will come back, and then they will try to test the whole application, and they will raise the bugs. You need to fix them. Okay, and once you fix the bugs, what happens, again they will test it, and if everything is clear, they will give a sign off. Once you receive the sign off, you will promote the code to UAT. Users will test, again business people, and if there are any issues, they will raise. If there are no issues, they will give the sign off. Once the code received sign off from the UAT team or users team, exactly, will be promoting the code to production environment. Exactly. Right. Now what happens after that, if there are any issues reported by the users, see, I think we missed performance testing, right, before promoting to the production. Exactly, what is performance testing? They will check for the what is the response time, whether our application can handle more number of requests or not. Exactly, all this kind of testing will be done, and then we'll promote the code to production. Then if there are any issues raised by the consumers, what we'll try to do, we'll try to support for a few number of days. That period is known as hypercare. Okay, the initial support given by the developers for the production is known as hypercare. Exactly. Okay, maybe it depends on organization to organization. From 15 days to 30 days will be the period. What we'll try to do, we'll support that, and we'll give the knowledge transfer to the support team also, production support team. Is that clear? Okay, and the same process will be followed for existing APIs or new APIs. Exactly, and we'll provide the knowledge transfer to, as part of our role and responsibility, we need to transfer the knowledge to our team members, our QA team people. Okay, and support sorry, production team. Okay, and it is your responsibility to develop the documentation also. Okay, these are the kind of roles and responsibilities. In this 11 to 12 points, if you remember at least 5 to 10 points, that is more than enough. 5 to 6 points, and if you tell them confidently, that is more than enough. The initial discussion, you are ready, right? Okay, now the next, the actual, see, once we answer this only, they will go for the next step. Otherwise, immediately they will tell, okay, this particular person is not in the right track, let's disconnect. My HR will get back to you, and then they will go on.